On today's episode of the Command Center podcast, we talk team bonding and going away to training camp. Is it important?
It is.
Yes or no? The pads are on. We got some great stories there, and that breeds competition in training camp. Who's going to make the roster? That all starts right now. But first, we got a bake-off, and we got a special challenger, Fred.
Don't drop that yellow cake.
Don't drop it. Here we go. Welcome into the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot and Santana Moss.
What's up, fella?
And Fred, we had a big deal yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Big deal on Get Loud.
Yeah, we did.
I heard about
It was the loudest Get Loud of all time.
Well, first of all, anytime you invite London Fletcher and Sean Spring, they got this brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Similar to ours, that they gonna ride for each other. So it was fun. It was one of the loudest Get Loud we
So you
had.
telling me they got on you a lot then on the show?
Totally, they got on me. But you know, Tanner, I ain't got no feelings, so they can't hurt them. You know,
So
I'm fine with
I
that.
was going to ask you, because you do seem very competitive with Sean specifically.
Yes, we are.
Why is that?
Because me and Sean just been, it's kind of the yin to my yang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we always been like that. And Sean, as loud as I am, Sean is very chill when he talking, when he singing zingers. Yeah. So it works. It works because no matter how much trash I talk to him, it seemed to never get to him.
Sean cuts Fred in a different way.
Because you've been around it.
Yeah.
I'm around it a lot. So, but the one thing I can say that we have, or Fred can have over Sean, if he ever use it, it would probably be detrimental to Sean.
Uh-oh. Is this the nuclear option?
Put that out there. If he ever uses it, 'cause I always see him save him. I'll be like, ooh, if he just say the one thing that I know he can say, it's one thing that would just kill all that pressure he brings there, Fred. But you know, I'm the one that's on the outside.
We'll keep that. We'll keep that off record. But then also, I feel like so you and Sean really hyper competitive. You see that on the podcast, Get Loud podcast. Definitely check it out. And then it feels like Fletch is kind of like the big brother a little bit.
He's the big brother that the little brother just keep poking.
I know you trying to get him to fight you or something.
No, you know what? What people need to understand is I'm on a one-man mission to make sure this man get to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This is my thing with
and
him.
he says that, but like last night you texted us something about how Fletch should be in the Hall of Fame. Like you're in it. Like you want to do it.
And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to work with Kayla K and a couple of these people over here just to keep putting stuff out there. Because one thing about the Hall of Fame is if they forget about you and that new thing pop up, is now they push you to the back burner. Yeah. But as much as I give Fletch, I love Fletch. This my dude.
You do give him a lot.
Yeah, I do, but you know what I'm saying? I give him his just due too. I appreciate him as a person.
Yeah, so obviously that's a great show. And Tanner, you've had a front row seat to all this mess talking.
And me and you both. I just sit there and just smile.
That is crazy,
I
man.
laugh. Sometimes I might throw a couple of nuggets in there.
Crazy.
But you know it's crazy because we didn't have too many characters in the offensive room. I think the offensive room have to be a little more dialed in.
Yeah.
I can just imagine what y'all doing over there.
The defensive room is just full of
you got to think about us. We're looking at how can we move this ball. They're looking at we just gonna react.
No. we gonna destroy things.
It's like that story. You know, we were talking about. We had a group text where it was like you missing a tackle on Brandon Jacobs or something like that.
Yeah.
But the story you told about the meeting afterwards was hilarious.
Yes, because that's what we like. The one thing about a defensive meeting room, the worst day is the day after. You know, the day after you have to watch the film.
It's tough.
I could have had 5 picks. They ain't gonna even. They gonna fast forward it, right to when I'm getting ran over by Brandon Smoot. What happened right here? When I tried to go in with that left shoulder, but he took it with him for like 6 yards. Fletch, what was you at? You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's one part of it. I think what amuses me the most is the conversations on the field,
dude,
before things happen or go down.
Before playing out there,
like Fred, it seemed to me Fred was always warning them when something was gonna go.
Well, like when he said to Sean, when he was like, "Hey, Sean, someone's about to die out here, and it's not gonna be me." And then London gets run.
No. It was the first play of the game.
Yeah.
We going against the Giants. And I just looked at they huddle. Because, we huddle up, y'all huddle up. And I'm like, oh, my God. They are Giants. Shockey is 6'6". Eli 6'5". Brandon Jacobs 6'4". Plexico 6'6".
Yeah.
Protect yourself, fellas. Somebody gonna get hurt. And guess what? 3 plays later, LaRon is hurt. So I told you.
They were going down.
I think I always brought just that regular person feel to it. And I think that's what it was.
You kept it 1,000.
I kept 100, man. Hey, we are human beings. While everybody else think we these gladiators and they watch us. I've been in Green Bay and it was 1 degree, and I'm like, I need a new job.
Yeah.
I should have chose something something. I use my brain.
So that's obviously an awesome show, and something else we're doing is we're doing live shows where you can watch training camp, and obviously the production team's done a great job with that. And we've selected the comment of the day, maybe the comment of the year.
Oh, what it is, I want to hear.
It's so funny. Jason just texted me. He texted me when it came out. This was the first live show we did.
Yeah.
And it is, so fan comment, okay?
All right.
Elite comment. I don't know who did it. We'd give you a shout out, but I forgot who it is, okay?
Yeah.
Fred was sweating, waiting from having to speak. And to me, that is such a deep, comprehensive burn.
You know what?
Because it's commenting on your sweating and the fact you're always talking.
No.
Yeah.
Have you watched Key and Peele when they got that little thing where he just That's what they reminded me of. Because yes, man, when it's like 6 of us on there.
Oh, there's a lot of people.
It's like 6 of us on there. And I'm like, damn, Logan gonna talk for 5 minutes. And you know one thing about Tanner, once he gets started, ain't no stopping him. Bluefoot gonna interrupt you. And London just gonna sit there and nod his head the whole time. So yeah, way too long.
It has been a lot of fun, but Fred did have to wait a long time.
Yeah. I don't like waiting.
I think that was done
purposely. Yeah, I understand.
To keep
I think
him.
Ryan knew something about
Yeah,
it.
Ryan was like, you know what? Let's just get 10 people up here.
Let's bring some more bodies.
Yeah, a couple of people didn't never play football. They was up there talking, and I'm like, who's George? Like, I never played with George.
Just some fans up
Yeah,
there just hanging out. What do you think about this? So obviously, so live shows, get loud, big deals. We'll read those comments if you keep giving good ones. And then obviously, Ticket to the Draft podcast with me and Just the Guy Jason. Make sure you check that out. And the most important thing, I almost forgot. Good thing I took notes before the meeting.
Yeah, you do.
Jason
Great note taker.
Jason gave this to me. That's why. So just a reminder, we have the People's Choice Podcast Awards. It is the last day to vote.
Yeah.
Please vote
for us.
We need you to vote.
Yes.
Come out to training camp. If you say you voted, we'll give you a shirt. Come on, let's make it happen, right?
Yeah, that's good.
You vote at podcastawards.com. The link is in the description. If you have an email, your kid has an email, your dog, your cat, your horse has an email.
Yeah.
Use it. Vote for us. Let's make this thing happen. And, we might win.
So
No,
I
we
have a question. So say for instance we don't win, which
That's fine.
do we even get a little flowers for being up in the top 2 or 3
just
guys?
to be nominated, you know.
I have no idea. I hope so.
Yeah,
That'd be
you know what
cool.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Flowers.
maybe I'll get you guys a little something.
Hey,
a little,
man, I'm
saying no.
Just as a
We
thank
want
you
something
from
from
me.
the People's Choice Podcast
Yeah.
Awards.
I mean, we're going up against some heavy hitters. There are
Big
like
time
2
heavy
30
hitters.
for 30 that we're up against. So it's some NFL stuff.
Yeah.
I had a black
just
eye
have a
before.
bigger-
That don't mean you lost the fight.
They just have a bigger audience.
No, they have a huge
That's
audience.
that's where
Yeah.
this is hard for us because I feel like if we reached more,
those
we'd
are
have a real
nationally,
good chance.
shown, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're local.
Yeah, they
But not really,
powered
not
by
necessarily,
TV.
because we still, YouTube is national. So
Yeah.
But I don't know. We got a really good fan base here. Very
Yeah.
loyal.
Yeah.
Loyal
So
fan.
they-
And
can turn
international
out the
fan
vote.
base.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said
Little
that last time.
grassroots here for us.
Yeah, let's get it
right.
going.
Yeah.
Vote for us.
Well, first of all, California should make sure they represent you.
Yeah, I should
Florida,
call the governor.
Mississippi, represent me. All right, so we got places.
Yeah.
We are national now.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Right. And if you do vote, leave us an email at thathawkoutside@gmail.com. Just let us know. And again, we got merch. So if maybe we'll do another raffle of the people who voted, maybe that one of them gets a shirt. We don't have enough shirts to give everybody a shirt. Sorry about that. But
Yep.
a select few,
We'll
maybe.
get some more for y'all.
Maybe shirts. All right. But in the meantime, we've got training camp. It's happening.
It's
Dan
here.
Quinn's here. Everybody's here. It's been a lot of fun to talk about. And one of the things that's come up in a couple of pressers is team bonding and how the team feels a little bit more connected. And one of the stories that I think kind of shows that, or maybe a little bit more dialed in, is that story that Dan told about Big Phil. How he...
Mathis?
Yeah, the day came day to report. He missed his flight, or flight got delayed. He had to drive to a different airport, get on a flight, get here, make sure he was on time. Kind of showing he's locked in, kind of feels a little bit more urgent than it did last year.
Was it doing the glitch?
Oh,
Was it doing the glitch? Because I was traveling doing the glitch and I had to figure it out too.
Did you?
I was in Chicago. First thing I did when they said, "Hey, flights are gonna be changed," I was like, "Guess what? Go get the rental." I got to
you
have
drive?
wheels. I drove back.
You drove back from
Chicago.
What is it, like 13 hours?
No, it was like 9 hours.
Oh,
It
really?
was such a good.
He like driving. Though, so
Yeah, it was
Oh,
such a good ride. Got to watch the Great Lakes on my left the whole way through Indiana, Ohio. You know, I like the soak in thing. It was great, man. No problem. Fedarian was probably right behind me, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, I flew during the glitch too.
Yeah.
And I was all worried. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to get delayed. I was in Buffalo. I don't want to be in Buffalo.
I was who takes vacations to Buffalo? Like
I was doing work up there, but so I went up there and I came to the airport. They're like, your flight's on time, and I was like, great. So I went to the gate. Yeah. Every screen is dead, completely black, and I was like, we're probably not leaving from this place.
That's great.
And there's a dude there, just some I thought he was a janitor. Stands there. He's like, oh, hey, you're checking in at gate 26, which was like 20 gates down.
Yeah.
And you're walking back. So we walked down.
Yeah.
There's a guy there checking people in on our flight. We walked back, and I was like, this is totally wet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
it's a disaster.
Yeah, disaster. Man. But anyway, so I think one of the things about Big Phil doing that, it shows, like, again, maybe a little bit more urgency from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's yeah, right, exactly. And I think that that's super important, right? Is to get guys where it means something more than it has the last couple of years.
By any means necessary.
Right.
Like, that's what a team is. How we going to beat this next team? Yeah. By any means necessary. Yeah. That's what Phil said. You know what? Flight, no problem. I'll get a horse and I'll ride it to D.C.
Could you imagine if he came in on a horse? Big Phil on a horse, that poor horse.
Look, I say that poor horse.
Look, you also got to think about it, too. When things on the line, down the road, and maybe you have to pick from a guy and Phil. Yeah, the coach would think back, say, this guy busted make it a practice and make sure he was here. So, stuff like that always counts.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I had a story my rookie year. It was for training camp. Excuse me. And, I went to the airport. I'm flying from California, flying from LAX. Went into the airport. My flight got delayed. My parents were out of town for whatever reason. So I called my girlfriend. I said, hey, can you come pick me up at the airport? So I stayed all day at her house. My flight didn't leave till 10 o'clock that night. Yeah. So got on the plane, took the red eye, tried to sleep on the plane, literally took a cab from the airport to the door, got out of the cab, walked directly into the meeting with my suitcases to be on time. Yeah. And spent the whole day, you know what I'm saying? Tired and all, but and it was funny because we were in a room with a bunch of older tight ends, and they were like, oh, I thought you were like a veteran coming in back last minute. And I was like, nope, just had to take the red eye to get back. But it is important because it shows that you are locked in and you want to be on time. Yep. So the other thing that I think is interesting, in addition to stories like that, is the fact that they're staying at a team hotel. Yeah. In the years past, when they've had camp here, they've been able to go home at night. And a lot of people say, oh, that's not a big deal.
It's a big deal.
How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's great that you hear that now, and just knowing that. I remember at one point, I got to the point where I felt like I was a little long in the tooth, and I can sleep in my bed. I don't necessarily have to be around these guys, but it means a lot. Yeah. Even if a lot of these guys that's in the building or out here on the field and they're not going to be here, that time to bond is the only time you have. Because once things do, get real, you're going to go back to that home, you're going to have to deal with your family, and then you come over here and see these guys but for so many hours. So I think training camp is the best time to kind of, build that chemistry, have that bonding with your guys. Sometimes certain teams give you roommates just so you can get familiar with the person, what I mean, on your team. And then I remember when I was a Jet, they switched it up. We wasn't always with the guys that we knew. It was defense and offense in the same room. You know what I mean? So get things a little, I guess you can say competitive in a sense, because now I'm sleeping with the enemy. I'm basically got a roommate that I got to go out there and he got to check me
the next day.
You know what I mean? So I think it's great. And when you hear that the last few years was different, it makes you kind of,
wonder why.
Raise your eyebrow like, maybe.
First of all, the words that come in to me when I hear that is plugged in. The one thing I do when I go home is unplug. All right? Mm-hmm. When I walk through that door, that's my space.
Yeah.
Training camp ain't about my space. Yeah. It's about our space.
That's a great point.
So if I'm going to the center over here at the hotel, I'm still plugged in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm still, and you know me, I can be a butthole sometimes. I'm knocking on people's doors, waking them up and running. Yeah. These things.
Not sometimes, all the time.
Yeah. So these things might be a joke, but it's also, oh man, I remember when you did this and did that. It brings you closer. Yeah. That love-hate relationship, you gotta, they always say, you can only hate somebody if you love them. Mm. You can't hate a stranger. Yeah. Right? So the thing about it is, when you spend this time together, downtime, up time, practice time, you bond together. And that's the thing that bothered me doing training camp, because I would bond with these guys, and 2 weeks from now, they ain't even on the team.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I do think to support both what you guys said, I think the way you said it, Fred, is probably the best. It just it locks you in. Mm-hmm. You're in the thing. So I go back to my hotel room at night, and I'd study the plays, and my roommate would be in there, and he's a tight end too, and we're talking through.
Yeah.
Oh, what do we have on this? Oh, we got this. Oh, what if they play this front? And just kept you around mentally around ball a little bit longer. Now it sucks because you're away from your family. You're a little bit of a mental grind, but I also think it starts. This is old school Logan talking. It starts the season when you're in a training camp away. When you're just kind of at home. It doesn't.
It don't feel real.
It feels like mini camp and OTAs a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to be a little bit more comprehensive than that. And then obviously, like Tano, we went down to Richmond for a little bit. That was a totally different vibe. What did you love about it?
The thing I love about just seeing something different, and then not knowing the history of Washington. It's so many fans down there.
Yeah.
So many of those fans that come from Carolina, that from the other parts of VA, to be down there and just to see the support. It's one thing about saying the city just treated us so well.
It did, yeah.
But the practice field was like every day was like almost a game atmosphere. Like those fans came, they showed up and showed out. So I love that. And it was just something different from me because you got to think about it. We didn't start going to Richmond until 2012 or 13.
So
and that was my last 2 years. You know what I mean? So to have that, to be going out the door, it was something like I guess you can say it actually got me up for those last 2 years.
Yeah. Right, to go to practice.
Yeah, to go to practice.
Because the fans are there, the whole thing. How about you, Fred?
I did Carlisle when I came, Pennsylvania.
So
did I say that right?
Is it Carlisle?
Carlisle or Carlisle?
Carlisle,
Pennsylvania.
Our producer, Jason, says Carlisle, but it's
Carlisle.
But it's a Baltimore. Is that a Baltimore accent? What is that? Let's talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, I got the local accent. Right? Like so
say it.
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
So I was
missing the L.
And so when you came in, you're like, it's Carlisle. And I was like, I thought that's what it was. And he's like, Carlisle. And I was like,
oh, actually,
Carlisle.
Baltimore. Right.
Yeah, see, he says no L's. He says no L's. And
so how was that? Because walk me through that.
It was in a college. It's a college town.
Is it
nothing there?
What is the college? Is it Carlisle College?
Or is it
Shepherd?
Shepherd, right?
I don't know. Right? No, seriously, I don't know off the top of my head. I just know that I used to go up to Carlisle to watch camp.
Yeah.
But then they did like a big car show there every year.
And they would do the car show.
I don't remember the college. Yeah.
But it was. You could still smell the chocolate coming from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah, like you just do that in the air, and you just chocolate in the air. But because it was such a small town, we would just meet at this ice cream shop.
Really?
Like there was, like I said, we were just so plugged in. And once you on a college campus and you it's football, and we was bonded. Like I bonded with the Bruce Smiths of the world, the Stephen Davis, and the Jeff George of the world. Like I had no other choice because we couldn't just jump in the car and head back this way. It was too far.
Yeah.
Like we did everything from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and then you go play your preseason game right back to Carlisle, Pennsylvania. I'll never forget my first day because I held out.
Yeah.
A rookie.
Did you say all your stuff got thrown out the window or something?
Yes, I held out because I wanted more money. I wanted first round money because I'm a first round talent.
What'd they say? How'd that?
They say, yeah, all right.
Did they really?
Oh yeah. So I held out for 3 days. I came.
Dan was here, so he got that first.
I came, and the first practice I'll never forget, Marty Schottenheimer was like, we drafted him. We know he can cover. Put him at middle linebacker. I'm like, what? They like, put him at middle linebacker.
Dude, that's
we finna do goal line.
Such a hardo thing to do.
Donnell Bennett is the fullback.
I wouldn't have been ready.
Stephen Davis is the tailback.
I wouldn't have been ready.
All right. Bruce Smith.
First day?
First day. Bruce Smith turned to me and Bruce said, hey. Don't wait on them. Go die in that hole. And boy, they snapped their ball. I went right down. And then I was like, all right, they gonna really want me to do this.
Did you get knocked out?
Listen, I hit Donnell. It wasn't no stalemate. I was going the opposite way. And Steven was coming. And then he was like, again. And I was like, oh my God.
So that was like your punishment or something?
There was like my initiation, brother.
Schottenheimer, my friend.
Yeah, no, but Marty was my dude because I remember my first meeting room day, like OTAs was here, and I walked in and it was Deion Sanders, my idol, Champ Bailey, who I just played with in the SEC, and Darryl Green. I walked right back out of there like, what you draft me for? And you like, first of all, go back in that room. The youth gonna start. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
So it was different emotions. Like that's all I knew at training camp was Carlisle. Like we waited years afterwards to start doing the local thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that is
So how many years did it take for y'all to come back this way?
3.
Oh man, so y'all had 3 years of that.
We had 3 years.
01, 02, 03.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine that being your first day of practice, though?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a big guy, and that's a gross
I don't
thought.
want no part of
Because
it.
you know the thing about fullbacks, for those of you at home who don't know that much about fullbacks, there's like something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Like how hard they hit people. There's something just not
And they
right.
neck. They about short necks.
Yeah.
Dude.
Huh?
It reminded me of a cheap pride drill we had in high school. Me and my homeboy Bo, we talk about it all the time. Like our coach used to just have a drill where he say, get anybody and give a lineman the ball, and he have a first line of defense and the second line, but it's only one player.
Yeah.
So it's like Bo, a defensive guy, he first and I'm last. So I'm like, the only way we're going to take this dude that's 300 pounds down and we hit him at the same time.
Right.
And Bo said that was the day I found out that you played DB, because I came and hit the dude before he hit him, because I didn't want to get ran over.
Yeah, don't wait.
And the coach was like, what made you do that, bro? You just damn. I threw my body at him. I said, man, I'm just going to run. I'm going to go out here. If I get embarrassed, I'm going to get embarrassed. Hit
My
you.
way.
Yeah.
My way.
So it reminded me of that. You as a linebacker having to go through that? No,
Hey,
I'm
listen.
going in there and I'm going to explode thing. I'm just
The
going
first 3
blow up.
plays, I'm like, you know what? You know how you tap in their head? I'm like, I need help.
Yeah.
And Marty like, keep him in there. Keep him.
Did you get knocked out?
I did not get knocked out. I think what they really loved
You had
about
too
me,
much
I just
pride.
kept getting back up.
you
I
had
just
too
kept
much
getting
pride.
back up, getting back up.
And you was the mouth, so you was like, man, you know
and
what?
I kept yapping
I
at him.
I would not be able to talk the trash I talk if I go in here and look like a sucker. So.
No, I'm literally just yapping at him still. Steven Davis, you soft. Y'all soft.
I can see you doing that, too.
Yeah, so I'm just, if you don't lose your mind in that time,
Yeah, you'll be all right.
like that ain't for smartly thinking people right now. This is for maniacs.
Yeah.
All right,
That is
this
a
is a time
maniac
for
thing.
maniacs. So to answer to a maniac, you got to turn to a
I would
maniac.
have almost felt like, why are you doing this? Like, what? Like, damn, coach, what's good? Like, you know, I play corner.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
what's
just
up?
like playing corner. Then they doing what they used to call that, the 10-yard drill when we
Yeah.
was like when you
Yeah.
had to lay on your
Lay
back,
and get up, yeah.
you had to jump up
But
and
it's
get
a
up.
whole different ball game. You got a fullback and a running back.
And you got to
Man.
realize Steven Davis 240.
By
I know. How
himself.
big was that fullback?
Donnell Bennett 250.
Yeah.
Dog.
Like, listen
that hurts,
to me.
That hurts me
And
just
I'm
thinking
every
about
bit
it.
of 171 at this
You
time.
were looking
'Cause
like
they were
Roy
probably
Forbes.
laughing,
yeah,
bro.
me and Ford, we the same person. Just put a 13 on me.
I will say that, dude. Like whenever I got a small DB, like when I was playing fullback or
Yeah.
playing tight, oh, dude, there's something
Yeah.
so nice about it.
No, you were just like, vacation
Yeah,
time.
because you could just throw that. It's
Yeah.
just like it's just a different thing. So they're probably having a good chuckle about it. Anyway, all right. Oh, another story. We got another story. Mike Sanders came to Jaden's presser
Yep.
and asked him how bad Michigan would beat LSU. Which I think is kind of interesting, but also I think shows a nice fellowship and camaraderie with the guys.
Yeah, we never lose our college love. Like no matter what you do in the locker room, we gon' throw that SEC up there. We gonna throw that Miami. We gonna throw UCLA. We gonna throw our college. We gonna forever rep the college. Now thinking about that. Jaden Daniels did have the number 1 offense in college
Dude,
football.
don't even start that.
And Michigan did have the number 1 defense. That's sprint on sprint.
Dude, Michigan beats them 47.
Come on, they got Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas out
Dog,
there.
they were playing. Did you watch what they were doing at Michigan?
I did.
They
Will
were-
Johnson. I know the cornerbacks there.
Dude, they
I look
were
at it like
right.
this. No, you go, Logan.
No, I was gonna say they're running like NFL. So like this is a great example. You watch the national championship game?
I did.
Michael Penix Jr. throwing Roma Dunze, throwing to all these guys getting drafted. Everyone on their offense got drafted who was eligible, right?
Yeah.
They looked silly because Michigan was running they're running Baltimore's defense.
Yeah, I know
This kind of crazy fire zone, who's coming where, rotating coverages, disguises. So Jaden Daniels, I know he's a baller, but like, good night,
Don't
bro.
forget this. Wherever he cannot throw on Michigan, he can take out with those
I know,
legs.
that
Like,
defense-
I'm just saying.
yeah, he went toe-to-toe with Alabama. I'll give him that. And they run a similar defensive structure.
Yeah.
But what was the score of that game? 45-20?
Yeah.
Like, you can only do so much, man.
But we also know football, you don't know until you get on that
Yeah,
field.
and it's always
man.
good to know
It's-
that you had the better team already. Because think about it, Michigan won that championship.
Yeah, they did.
So he had a little more to come in here and brag about. Than,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Asking someone, what do you think your team would have did? Is almost like him already telling you, we the whoop job. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, because you were at the U when like the U was like the U.
Yeah.
You're probably asking people that all the time.
yeah, people would ask me and be like, man, shit, what you think we would have did? I mean, what you think? I ain't want that smoke. Just call the names alone. But you know how you say you can't win games with just names.
Yeah.
But when you kind of can look at the team, how they played with those names, you're like, yeah, man, those guys had something.
Yeah, so leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Does LSU have a chance versus Michigan from last year? Now, totally hypothetical, but
I'm an
think
SEC guy.
I think no way.
Yeah.
I think they get rolled. I think
Michigan will slow it down for them, play a more pro style, style to play on offensively. They would have beat them to me.
Just quarterback with legs, I always give you a chance.
That defense was good, man.
That defense flew around.
I don't know. Anyway,
well, SEC ain't won the next championship, but the last 10 years beside this one. So,
well, we're talking about this last year.
All right.
All right. So another thing. So that's the fellowship, the camaraderie. Everyone's feeling really good about that. Really exciting. Good to see the team. But you see it out at practice, and the most recent practice we watched, they had the first day of pads, man. And I know I'm not going to ask Fred. I'm going to ask Tana.
Yeah.
What does putting the pads on do for you when it's time to get going?
Just make me tired. I mean, I'm gonna sit here. I'm not finna give you that.
Dude, so crazy, man.
I'm not finna give you that great answer. Like, guy, when I put those pads on, I felt just solidified. I was going to go out there and be that much of a player. I hated putting on pads.
Let me ask you this: Did it affect how you ran routes? Because I always found when I put pads on, again, I'm a wide body. I'm not super athletic, but like, it gave the DVs a bigger surface to contact.
Bingo.
And that made it really hard to run routes.
It's like this. When you got a guy that's I'm lightning.
Yeah.
And then you tell me, all right, throw this on there.
Throw 5 pounds.
Now it's a little I'm thunder now. You hear me. You don't see me. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, like, don't get me wrong. I've been doing this for so long to where I'm used to it. But it takes a gear off you a little bit. Yeah. You have to kind of simmer down a little bit and say, okay, I have to now learn how to run with this on. So when you say the first day, it's going to be a little difficult for a guy who wants to run, because now I'm a little more tired.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little more heavier. You know what I mean? So now I have to kind of critique how I'm doing things. Like, okay, well, Tanner, you did this yesterday and you was able to do it because you didn't have the pads on. You got to hold back a little bit. You can't be going on in this one-on-one drill trying to get all these reps when you want to save, you want to preserve yourself for that next series. So first day would have been a little difficult, but by the time I got to that first day, I'd have probably simmered down a little bit and then had something better to say about it.
The thing about pads is, that's why I always say, I can only judge a football player. That's why I don't like 7-on-7s all the time, because there's no pads. Like, I can only judge a wide receiver and how good he is when I see him run with pads on. Like, because everybody can run a 4.2 with shorts on. Yeah. But that don't mean he run like that fully equipped. So that's the thing now, as a defensive back. I don't know if y'all seen Deadpool. I know it just freshly out.
I gotta go check it out.
But when he got that new suit, you know what I'm saying? That's how I felt when I put them pads on. Made me want to slap myself on the butt.
Did you like putting pads on?
What the heck is going on?
Did I what?
Did you like putting pads on?
Yes.
Really?
I'm an idiot that love to practice. Like,
I mean, I like practicing too, but
I would literally run out to the practice field, hollering, yelling. We'll go through stretching. I ain't stretching. Yeah. I'm walking around, chatting up with everybody. Like, I enjoyed practice. Like, I always said this: what other place would you rather be
Facts.
out here practicing this game?
Facts.
So I enjoyed it, and when you put it on, I actually felt safer in my pads than not in my pads. Now, and I think especially when you got these fullbacks like Mike Seller turning the corner on you, you got tight ends. And, I'm like, give me my pads, man. Now I can say this: I'd rather just be in helmet and shoulder pads. It's short.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Halfway there.
Well, that's now that's all they wear. They rarely put pants on.
So,
But I was always pretty nervous first day of pads. Like, and I'll tell you why. Like, I like pads. I felt safer in pads. My technique changed a little bit with pads on, but I was always concerned, and especially that first day, that I wasn't there physically yet.
Ready.
I wasn't, because you got to be a little.
You didn't feel like you was in game shape.
Yeah, in like context. I always was. I never had an issue with it, but I was always worried, am I going to get embarrassed today?
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing pads does, is it allows someone to physically embarrass you.
Oh, impose their will on you.
Yeah, because like if you're not in the right position, you're not in the right technique, it's like, oh dang, like he can snap. Like, I remember like doing like an ISO lead on Fletch. You know what I'm saying? And him just, if you did not come in there with the right mentality, he was going to snap your chin strap off, and you were going to be on a knee, and you were going to be like, dang, that's embarrassing.
But see, I can understand that, because you're just in a whole different world with your pads than we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we
on the edge.
We on the outside. We out there just patty caking. You know what I mean?
We on the freeway.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
You out there in the trenches.
There's something about there's something about it though. Like, and again, like Fletch was like, I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, because he was that dude. He was like the alpha. He was like the MMA, like the heavyweight champ.
Like he's the guy that you walk in a bar and see him with the cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
And you
don't mess with
I'm
him.
not
You didn't
messing with
notice
him.
that? You didn't notice that bop? That London. He walked with a bop like he just knew. Like I'm finna tattoo somebody.
Yeah.
Because he had that leverage. Like sometimes you gotta understand that short leverage. You can't get under him.
I used to
Ain't
look
no
at
getting under
London
him.
like, man, I used to hear stuff and I used to be like, and I just see a 59 walking out of there. I say, boy, he just
Car accident.
He just went in there.
He
and
just
put
killed
straight
somebody.
face mask and somebody.
Dude, I have this vivid memory of him. I've run an ISO, and it was like a misdirection in Kyle's offense. And so I was kind of coming from the tight end wing, leading up in the opposite A gap. So I kind of pulled for him.
Yeah.
And his eyes were like totally the opposite way. And I'm like, I'm about to clean this dude up. This is my time.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yes.
I've arrived.
Let's show him what Logan Hayes.
Yes, and at the last second, this dude, it was like a scary movie, like Superman or something. His eyes just snapped to me, and I was like, I still got him because it's so late.
Yeah.
And he could generate so much torque in his upper body. He did his little shoulder punch.
Yeah.
Broke my chin strap.
Yeah.
My helmet fell off, and I just, like when you get snot bubbles?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
And I was just like, God bless. Like
Bless America.
I had everything I wanted there. And I remember walking back to Sean, I was getting my helmet fixed, and he was like, physical down? I was like, yeah it was.
This is what football looks
You
like.
ever heard a story and you can visualize that and everything of it? I'm just like looking at it like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because I can see him turn around and smiling.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like he like tricked me.
Yeah.
He like tricked me into knowing.
psych.
Yeah, and I was like, oh God. Oh Lord Jesus. So yeah, Pad's always going to get me spooked out. But I think from an evaluation standpoint, when you're watching practice, like Fred said, it's football time, man.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff in shells and
OTAs and all the summer stuff.
it's like now this is the thing. Like, so my son plays hockey, right? This is relevant, I promise. He's 10. You can't check till you're 12. And so there's all these really good skaters. And the hockey director came up to me the other day and he was like, what's crazy is when we start checking, half these dudes are going to just evaporate.
They go quick.
Just evaporate. No more texts, no more calls, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with football.
Yes.
If you put the pads on, some guys are going to be like, you know what? I'm going to be a banker.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do something else.
I'm gonna tell you how funny I felt it, because I was just always the skinny dude, right?
Yeah.
I'm the skinny dude in the room, and then we're walking the weight room in the off season. All these dudes just God's gift to like weight rooms, and I'm like, wait till we put these pads on, because then that inner yellow belly.
Yeah.
That inner yellow belly come out.
It shows up, man.
It shows up. So the pads are truth tellers. That's what their pads are. They
Yeah.
truth tellers about how are you as a true football player. You're a great athlete. But this for football players right here.
And so you get to see that. And I think it's cool, like, watching the defensive line get hands on people, O-line, the tight ends. Like our guy Ben Sinat yesterday lined up at fullback, Tana.
Yeah.
And lifted some dude. It was like a double team with the tight end and the fullback.
Yeah.
And popped this dude off his feet. Whoop, like head hit the ground first. And I was like, that dude.
No, that's what he does.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Senate, excuse me, Senate, not Sinat.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I do remember. Coach Gibbs first gets back. We having a walkthrough, but it's with pads on. And Sean T will come out there looking any kind of way. He don't care. I done seen this dude have blue jeans under his pants before. Like, he don't care. And Coach said loud, hey, just walk, dude. We gonna touch each other up, tap. Sean come down here. They pitch CP the ball. Sean peel his cap.
Really?
I'm talking about peel his cap. Coach like, hey, we walking through. They hike it again. He butts cap Liddell. They like, hey, just get him over there. He is not gonna let us practice. And I'm like, y'all know he don't know how to do but one way. Like, I don't know what y'all thought it was gonna
Dude,
be.
do you remember, you mentioned Sean, I wonder if he got this from, so LeBron, remember LeBron?
I remember that.
We were doing a goal line walkthrough period. Goal line walkthrough.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if LeBron didn't full tackle the back 4 consecutive plays in a row.
Yes.
But like not like it was like
No.
like everyone's walking through and LeBron just harpoons somebody in the
Listen, that's what he learned it from Sean.
Ignorant. That's what I call him. Ignorant.
Just ignorant. And we were talking about dudes that know how to practice, and dudes that don't know how to practice like pros.
And dudes that just don't care. That's put like that.
like,
Putting them in that category.
I
Just
say
don't
guys
care.
that got one speed.
Yeah.
And I can't get mad at that.
But okay, so let's talk
It's
about
a
that
difference.
because that's our next
Because
thing.
you can have one speed, but guys like those two, they don't care.
They don't care about what your one
what are you
speed.
talking about, coach? No, this is how I want to. This is how I want to do this drill today.
Either
you know?
take me out, put me in.
So let's talk about that because I think that's one thing is the intensity in practice has been good, but guys have been relatively safe.
Yeah.
And we were talking about maybe 2 examples where guys could have been safer.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
What is practicing like a pro mean, Tana, to you? Like, what does it mean? Like, where you're taking care of each other, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, I'm a receiver, so one you asking me, you know.
But I'm saying DB's got to take care of you. You got to
You're
take
right.
care of DBs.
And I think for the most part, I've always practiced like I wanted to play.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I did everything full speed.
Yeah.
I didn't. When you saw me outside, whether it was routes on air, whether it was me going through something with just the one-on-ones, I did that particular drill as if I was in a game setting. So when it comes to
1 sec, Tana. If you're a young guy listening to that, like, please take that to heart.
Yeah.
The best guys I ever played with, all of them. That's how they did it. Everything, no joke, full speed. Sorry, Tana.
And no problem. We was talking about, our receiver coach. We were just joking about, how Stan said it the first day, that Randall Eldom got here. They was asking questions. He was like, "Just watch Tanner." And you might take it as why I gotta watch Tanner? Why you can't tell me? But he basically telling them like, look, he does everything full speed. So run that particular route that way.
Yeah.
Block that guy that way. So he was basically letting them know if you want to watch somebody doing what we got to do, just watch him. And so that's how I did it. And when you get I guess you can say the DBs know this is how he gonna come. So at the end of the day, they lie, but they know at the same time too. I'm not gonna tug on him because we protecting each other.
I'm not gonna get my feet locked up with him.
I'm not finna do nothing to that DB jumping on his back. Not doing nothing. I might go up, but I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna hurt him. And that's how you have to have that understanding. It's gonna kind of be one of those things. Is you're gonna have to know how to feel what that guy has going on.
Yep.
Now that's a guy on the outside. I don't know how y'all can communicate that way in the inside because I feel like. Even when we walking through, when you got a helmet on and shoulder pads, it's hard for you guys not to just say, I have to
collision on collision.
Bingo, I have to make sure that I outwill this guy. So I don't know.
Even like helmets, you're pretty full speed. I'll say like when you're practicing, like if you're in run surface, you don't finish guys. You can finish guys like with your feet, like kind of stay in front, but you're not using your upper body like rotation to get them off balance to throw guys to the ground. I mean, in a game, obviously you're going to do that. You're trying to get that done. But like think about it. Let's say I'm blocking the defensive end, he tries to beat me inside and I kind of pull him down. I could throw him into the tackle. I could throw him into the defensive tackle. There's a linebacker filling, right? And in a game, that's
legal.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But in practice, I got to make sure that he's healthy, I'm healthy. And there's times too, like where, for example, the pile's coming and you're pushing on somebody, and the outside linebacker will be like, "Hey man," and it'll kind of pull you away, so you don't get rolled up on. And that's taking care of each other.
So how do you guys have that understanding? Is it something that you kind of learn over time?
I think you just learn from the veteran.
Or it's just like, because I've been on a team where in practice I saw we call them I don't want to call them. I don't want to say what we called them, but. Kevin Mawai with the Jets.
Oh,
he
nasty.
He didn't let up on those guys in practice that, and our defense had it out for us every time we went against them because of him. So that's why I always wanted to know, like, man, what is the understanding amongst those guys?
I think the understanding is
Kevin Mawai
no grass stains.
Yeah, Kevin Mawai
Stay off the grass.
is a legend in that regard. Like when I came in the league, you heard stories about him.
And you're that much younger than me.
And I was younger. When I was in Chicago, he was the assistant coach. He would tell stories about, like, I was just like, oh my, you used to do what to your teammate?
Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've seen him do some stuff, man, in practice, and I was like, let's buckle up, man.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's finna be a brawl.
Coming at us now because of him. You know?
Today that wouldn't fly. Like, for example, like Cornelius Lucas had a move with Farrell, Colin Farrell, Cleveland Farrell, where he went inside and kind of gave him a little tug, lost his feet for a second. Cleveland fell down, right? And, Lucas stops. Dan comes over. It's like a whole thing because you got to try to get to the season now. You know what I'm saying? So like on the inside, there's that communication. But for DBs, Fred, one of the things that I always found really frustrating is like in practice, especially with an offensive head coach. It's like, hey man, if it's 50-50, it's offense's ball. Like how do you work that?
I never practice like that.
How do you?
I'm gonna break that up. I don't give a damn who ball it is.
Because then they get mad at you if you don't. I don't understand.
Because Greg Williams ain't letting me slide. Coach Gibbs, I understand what you're saying. But I'm going to knock that ball away. Like, we was never like that. And then Jerry Gray was my DB coach. Don't you let him catch you. Jerry, we in walkthrough. Don't you let them catch you. Like, so at the end of the day, I think it has a lot to do with your coach and staff.
Yeah.
Also about how they want these things to be done.
Yeah, but you just got to go hard. I think when I watch guys, and this goes back to my younger years in New York, which was good, great insight from an older head. But I remember Wayne Gabert like, Tanner, just calm down. And I got what he was saying, but at the same time, I don't think he knew who I was when it came to how, this is my preparation. This is how I prepare.
Yeah.
So I would go to my practice knowing that this is going to be the way I go. I want this tempo every time so I could take that same mindset to the field.
When I was talking on Get Loud yesterday, and I said because we was talking about just preparation. Now, I brought you up and I brought London up in that situation because of my P's.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's the, proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Yeah.
And I say some guys had this thing that they did. Like I was never one of these guys where I had these habits.
Yeah.
Because I never like pull muscles. I didn't have the problem telling that. But I used to watch them do certain things every day, the same way. And I think that's the pros' habits.
Yeah.
And most pros have those habits.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, one of the things we kind of hitting on there is like competitive. How do you keep it competitive? How do you keep it fresh? How do you not get into fights? And one of the things I think this staff has done is every day they have a competitive period.
Yeah.
So I think it was Friday, they did like a red zone competition. So offensive TD was 7 points, field goal was 3 points, defensive stop was 7 points for the defense, and then a fourth down stop was 7 points.
I love that in a video game world.
Yeah.
Like this a coach saying, I'm gonna play on they inter-competitives.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push their buttons without them even knowing I'm pushing their buttons.
That was like playing NFL streets almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And by the way, I was a hell of a receiver on NFL Street while you playing. Hey, me and Champ was a squad on there.
Yeah, but I think you do get a little bit burned out. You do get a little bit fried in camp. So all of a sudden it's like, hey man, let's go. And if you've got your team built the right way, I feel like those guys all go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
It's like, we're playing a game. Like there was an old story about Seattle and how they do draft evaluations where they'd have a little basketball hoop on the back of the door and they'd be like, hey, let's go first to 10.
Yeah.
And some guys are like, but they want the dudes that like perk up because we're playing.
Oh no, that's me. I'd have been dunking and everything.
I know, but it's time to compete. And I think like if the team's built the right way and they're all ready to go in that direction, like you're going to get a more productive practice.
Yeah.
And you were talking about in college, I used to do stuff like that.
And I was just trying to gather those thoughts again because I'm sitting here thinking about it. No, I mean, honestly, like we had periods like that in college where we knew from the get-go, first of all, we was hoping that we didn't have that period. So you going through that practice in that hot sun, tired, thinking about what you're going to eat, thinking about got to go take this test or study for this test, and then the coach say, all right, we got this period, and the loser got to run 110.
Yeah.
So now you like,
I ain't running 110.
You looking at every guy in their eyes like, bro, do your job. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell the time about us playing so well together where the offense would kick it behind, but the defense played so good, they couldn't help but give up them points. The guys who were scoring the touchdowns, like, bro, you got the best of the best out here that's doing it. And the coach said, you know what, that period right there was so good, nobody run. You know what I mean? Yep. Even though the offense won because we was bomb dag, it was just bomb over bad dag. But he like, you know what? I saw the intensity pick up. I saw the competition rise. And at the end of the day, we all got here healthy. Break it down. And, that period kind of build that camaraderie. It builds that I know who I can take into that war zone with me. And you get familiar with the guys you're out on the field with. So I think it's great, man. And I just love to hear some of this stuff coming out of this building when it comes to just coaching staff.
Yeah, it show you where the standard at. It show you where the floor at. We ain't at the ceiling yet. But it show you this is where the floor at. We ain't getting no worse than this.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I love that and they've done something different every day. They did like a 2-point conversion one day. They did a 2-minute today. Like, they really find a way to make sure that you're
situational football.
And that practices are tight, but because the intensity is so high, they can be tight.
Yeah.
Because, if the practice is loose and long and languid.
And I don't see no dead periods in that. That's what I do enjoy. Like, I always hated practices where I just got to sit around for 5 minutes and do nothing. Yeah. Like, I don't like that. Like, once I'm moving, I'm inertia. Keep me going.
Yeah, which has been a lot of fun. I think a big testament to Dan Quinn, but also the entire coaching staff. Cliff and Joe Wood Jr. and both offensive and defensive staffs. All right, so now let's get to kind of the meat and potatoes, what people want to know, and that's who has been standing out at practice. And it's literally could be anybody. I don't know. You want me to start it off, guys?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So, guy that has stood out from the day one, off-season program, whatever, is this guy. No one knows him. Is Bryson Tremaine, like the receiver, 8'9".
8'9".
He just every day he wins in special teams, right? He makes contested catches. He runs crisp, professional routes. He's where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
And everyone's talking. I could have easily said Jaden Daniels here, but I'm trying to go off the beaten path a little bit.
That's the easy, low-hanging fruit.
Jaden Daniels trusts him. Marcus Mariota trusts him. Jeff Driscoll trusts him. I mean, you got 3 dudes back there that say, I can throw this guy any kind of ball I want, and he's going to make me right.
Yeah.
And the special team stuff, I don't know if he's going to make the team, but he's definitely making a strong push.
That's why you have tall receivers, because of the catch radius.
And he's big.
I call tall receivers. One thing about tall receivers, you can throw bad balls to them.
Yeah.
Like you want to have somebody that I don't have to be as accurate to hit them, and that's what it is. But if I had to pick a guy, I think it's Quan Martin. To me, Quan.
Ooh, I like that.
Quan is, not only playing safety, he's playing majority safety now, but he's also playing a lot of nickel. To me, he's the guy that I think is going to be one of those true glue guys on defense. And he plays with this consistency, and I just can't get that interception he made in OTAs out of my head. You know what I'm saying? The one behind the back, because that's one of them. We DBs, we all have that dream interception.
Yeah.
When I was young, I wanted to see Wood, right? I wanted the one that, see Wood caught on the sideline with the one hand. When I had one in high school, when I caught one out of bounds and I threw it to my teammate, that was my favorite interception of my life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, so that one he made in OTA, that's one that you, as a quarterback, if you already got confidence, it creeps up a little bit now. All right, and then with this new group, I know he got to be feeling good, because this is a defensive back-friendly defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So Quan Martin, to me, is the guy.
For sure, Quan Martin, but also another guy that maybe bottom of the roster guy.
Yeah.
Tyler Owens, guy from Texas Tech, has really shown up. Special teams.
Yep.
Just the guy Jason loves
I
him.
speak of a couple of guys, and now one of the guys was was on the field the other day watching them in pass, and we was all enamored by how Bates looked inside his uniform.
And
then right after that, Dan Quinn kind of commented on how good he looked in practice, just blocking. And so when you have a guy like that, just knowing what
Bates
he has in
always,
front of him, as far as the guy we brought in and the guy we drafted, I can assure you that he got a lot going on in his head. So it's great to hear those whispers about him in practice. And then the other guy, man, last year we had so many high hopes on this kid. He made it to the last game. We just knew he was going to be on the roster. Kaz Allen. They saying that he's looking good on special teams in the kick return position. Him and Sanders still. So those guys have stepped up and been looking pretty good so far in training camp. And that's you have to shine a light on that.
I'm glad you said Sanders still. I was able to watch him a little bit more today at practice, and just his footwork is awesome.
He's a natural, man.
Jahan got him a couple times, but he's working in the slot. He's got to defend every angle of the cut. He's right there in the pocket. And I thought Jahan today had a really nice day of practice, catching the football. He's been a little bit quiet. But I think just to kind of sum this up, the one guy that I think we've all been the most impressed with is Jaden Daniels. I wish we could get through a podcast without talking about him, but
you can't.
Like today, for example, he there was a little bit of pressure. He booted out to his right. He was waiting for this comeback, and he threw it before the receiver was out. It was Ozzie. Before Ozzie was out of his break, Ozzie turns, and the ball had the perfect velocity right in the basket, dragged the toes, and I just dang, man, that's.
Then he wrote one today too. I heard one. To Jahan.
Yeah, Jahan, great one to Jahan. Over the top to Terry. I think he just. I don't know, man. And I'm not saying he's got a lot of work to do, a lot of stuff still happening.
He got the it. You can say that. He got the it factor.
He's had a good couple weeks of practice, so always excited to see how that comes out. Looking at the joint practice, and so we're looking for that. And then last thing before our special guest joins us, is making plays versus being consistent.
I think they are the same thing.
Consistently making plays
because everybody got an identity. Right? For instance, St. Juice is more consistent than he is a playmaker. All right? Well, Forbes might be more of a playmaker than consistent. All right, so we need both. I don't think it's a perfect mixture there. But I think your standard is your standard. Like me, myself, if I had to say one route that I'm always probably a step late on, because I was just willing to give it up, was a comeback. And I'm willing to give this comeback up because I'm not willing to get this go route up. I can't stop everything. So am I consistently good on go routes?
Yeah.
Am I inconsistent on comebacks?
That's a good point.
I think one of the things I've learned in college, it was something that I brought to the NFL with me, and it helped me tremendously. I was always the playmaker. Like when you throw something up deep, Tanner coming down with it 9 times out of 10. Throw me the hitch. I might leave. I might leave before the ball got there. And CJ, Curtis Johnson, say, Tanner, you want them to say your name that you dropped it, or you want them to say your name that you caught it?
Yeah.
He say you got to make the play. You got to catch the ball before they say your name.
Yeah.
So it was like a light bulb came on in my head. Like, you know what? If I'm gonna make the big catch, I got to make the small one. You know what I mean? I got to make all of them count. And before you know it, from that sophomore year when he told me that, my senior year, I remember Reggie telling me, he was like, man, you ain't missing nothing. Because it was in my head now, like, Reggie's catching that third down, that fourth down, that second down. He caught every pass, but I was just waiting for the bomb or the big play because I knew that was my thing.
Yeah.
So when I got consistent to make all those plays, that's when my game changed. So I take consistency over, playmaking.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to talk about it, right? It's like, as a receiver, when the ball's thrown to you, is it perfect? Are you wide open? Do you catch it? As a DB, are you in phase with the receiver? Can you punch the ball out?
Yep.
And then it's the same thing for offensive linemen. It's really like, how consistent are you winning one-on-ones? Like in team run, are you getting the combinations? Are you moving off the spot? Same with blocking tight ends or the fullback or the running back. Are you consistently finding the holes? Are you elevating the team?
Yeah.
And I think that's what you want to see from some of these guys, like consistently, like making plays. I'm going to use that term as like a catch-all because that's what you used. And I think that kind of fits, but like what types of plays are you making? Are you blocking the right guy as a receiver? Do you know where to line up? Are you motioning? There's a consistency and
am I making the running back cut back in as a defensive back?
Right.
Like these are the stuff that don't come up on the stat sheet. But then they ask, why is this guy playing over this guy when this guy makes more play? Well, this guy right here does these small things all the time. He does the small things right. So that's where you get the difference between a Sean Taylor and a Ryan Clark.
Yeah.
Like Ryan gonna do all the small things right that ain't gonna be on the stat sheet, but then Sean, you gonna look at this stat sheet and it's gonna blow you away.
Yeah.
And he was here today, by the way.
Yeah.
Ryan Clark. You see what's up to him? No, you missed him.
I got here late.
Yeah. But so Ryan Clark, great stories. Anyway, so now, the moment you've all been waiting for. We have a bake-off.
Bake-off.
And Fred, obviously, is the reigning champion. Round of applause for Fred. But we do have...
The Book of Smoot. Cookbook.
The Cookbook of Smoot.
Hey.
But we do have a new challenger.
You get one of those.
And this is... AP Anna, right? Is that what we're calling you?
And don't forget they text me yesterday
I'm Fred's producer.
while I was at home.
Anna, louder. Talk over Fred.
Sorry, I'm Fred's producer on Get Loud, if you guys know that.
And what she said is that I need to humble Fred. And so this was her solution to get that done. So she came in talking a mighty big game. And so, Anna, what did we make today?
So we're having a lemon cake bake-off. Oh, you guys probably want 4.
Yes, please.
So, Fred, what's the secret to a good lemon cake?
Well, first of all, it's about dusting that pan. See, that's where Anna messed up at.
Dust
I
in
did
that
mess
pan.
up a little bit on that.
She didn't dust her pan
I'll own
right.
it, but I think my recipe
She said she think her cake still stands a chance.
is still better. Do you need a fork?
Well, you know what?
One of these looks way more moist. Is that a word we can use to describe cake? Moist?
Yeah.
And we also have intern Caroline here. Hi, intern Caroline.
I
How
don't
are
know
you?
why she here, but she here.
She's here. She's here because I'm smell blind.
you are
we
smell
brought
blind.
another.
You put your cake in that little fancy tin and you think you've done something. You do this every time we have a bake-off. You bring the same tin, the same shaped cake. You really think you did something.
No, that's how you got to make. Did she make her cake the same way?
All right.
She didn't.
No.
We'll see. We'll see what's
Well, we
going on
get
here.
that
All right, so
hay.
first bite of this really yellow one. There's
Hey,
one
boy.
that's very yellow
That
and one
thing
that's less
moist
yellow.
now. I ain't gonna lie.
The moist one. That is very moist.
I tell you, lemon coming out the gate. You hear me?
Oh, yeah, the one with the. I think
No,
that-
it's the one without the...
Let me taste yours now, friend. I know which one yours.
Well, how do you know which one this is?
Because I saw when he brought it in.
That's a pretty good lemon cake. It's very moist. Very moist. Caroline, what we got? What's the thought here?
I don't know. It's hard.
I know whose is whose too, so I feel like this is going to be a problem.
No, don't.
No, I don't
You can
think it's gonna be a
unbiased and
problem.
You can be honest. You can be honest.
No,
My
I'm
feelings won't get hurt.
I'm gonna be honest.
Going.
Hey, You know what? I'm proud of
How do we
Anna.
know,
like
how do we
Anna
know
cake.
which was like? How
know
do I
Anna.
know which one of my play? You know which one's which?
You brought him in.
We do know which one is which.
Yeah,
Anna.
mine
Based off of the way
Jason,
that
what
they
we got?
taste, you'll know.
I don't know which one's which.
I'm eating both dumb.
Like I seriously don't.
You can't.
One
taste
is
the difference.
very, very, very lemony.
Very lemony.
Very lemony.
And
One
kind
of
of.
them's better. One of them is definitely better.
You know what? Coming in this, you know when you at the top, everybody against you. Like they want everything. They want to like.
Caroline, what you talking about? You came in talking about how like you come in with the same pan all the time.
Yeah, like see, she had hate in her heart.
I know.
Because I'm loyal to Zach Selby.
Poor Selby. Poor
You lost to
Selby.
the wrong person.
Poor Selby.
I wonder what all the fans think just hearing us like chewing into the microphones. Is like,
Yeah, this is excellent.
They gonna look at
podcasting.
me and say, "Tell like
This
both
is
them."
this is like
This is People's Choice Podcast
this
Awards
is
podcast.
this is the hardest one we've had to do so far.
Yeah, this is
I
hard.
agree.
Because usually I can tell right away what Zach does because he's got that extra little panache.
Yeah.
He's got like
We'll make strawberry cake and he got plums on it. That's what it is.
This was my. Did you guys want to know what my strategy was?
Yeah, let's hear about it.
So I've witnessed Zach come in here, and he every single time he just puts a little too much
Stuff.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too much thought into it. And so my thought
Sweet
process
guy.
going into this was, I'm gonna put almost no thought into this.
I'm
and
just gonna wing
I'm
it.
gonna fall back on my training and just know that I am a good baker.
These are both
not
really
trying to
good.
do
They
too
good,
much.
Fred. She got you to do. She.
How do you know who's this? How do you know who's this? Who's?
Fred, you
Yeah, I don't know
consistent.
who's-
See, this is what we just talking about consistency.
Yeah.
Fred
I'm
is
talking about.
consistent. So I can't never just say Fred ain't
Is this
good.
yours?
Yeah.
Fred's on is great, but
pretty
Anna
good.
is great too. Like that's just crazy. Like it's just like I'm eating Anna's on. Like damn.
So you know which one's which.
Yeah, I know which one's
Yeah. Yeah. Tennessee.
So which one do you like better? I know you're saying it's a close race, but
Like I said, Fred is consistent, but I actually like the more flavor one. 'Cause
You like
she got
the
a lot
more
of
lemon?
She got a lot more lemon in it. So
one. All right, Logan.
the man that smell blind.
Whose has more flavor?
That's not the. That's not.
Fred-
That ain't
It's
it.
a lemon
Fred-
cake.
It's
It's a
what's
lemon
the
cake. If it
best?
doesn't taste like lemon,
Both taste like lemon.
They both
Fred-
okay.
Fred's
They
on good,
both
too.
taste like lemon.
Yeah.
It's just one is very like it's like punching you in the face with lemon.
Yeah, yours. You made sure it was lemonade.
Jason's
I
trying
think-
to bring
Jason,
it
go
down.
ahead.
I think
I
Anna
need,
said,
I
"Let me
need
pour
some more
some
bites.
lemon
You
over
want-
this
you
thing."
I
want
need some more.
resource?
I need some more research. Hang on one second.
What you got, Jay?
They're both very.
I know they're
good.
really
both
good.
very-
This is definitely the hardest one we've had to do so
Yeah.
far.
I would say, Anna, you need to be the new Bake Off challenger. Selby, just take us. He just needs a little time to recover.
Oh, he gonna.
You know how like boxers,
be
like
in-
you're in a tough boxing match, you don't just get right back in the ring. You gotta like.
Selby is punch drunk. So
Yeah. He got three black eyes and he ain't got but
You
two
gotta
eyes.
take some time, a little R&R for Selby here. So this is
No.
good, Anna. You're gonna have to challenge him again because this is really
What
good.
else can you make?
I'm gonna.
you name
We
it.
already
Brett, Brett always throws out banana pudding because it's like
No, you don't want to do
Hey.
banana pudding with
no,
me.
I can't.
Hey.
I can't.
the
That's
first
wins.
time you saw both cakes get
Oh
destroyed.
yeah, he ate both pieces, so they tell you.
I'm
Can you
telling
guys
you.
do? Can you guys do banana bread?
Oh, that's easy.
Ooh, I'll do
What I did?
banana bread.
That's
I mean,
banana
this is
bread
easy,
easy.
but we just want like.
I would ask Fred to bake me a cake any day because Fred he come with him.
All right, let's focus.
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna pick Fred's only because like I'm not.
Anna.
This is a very subjective. Like I'm just not a huge lemon just person in general.
Yeah.
So the more lemon turn is like not great for me.
Yeah,
but
well,
that's like
I
that's
tried
not
to
a
make,
knock
I tried
at
to
Anna
not make
at
it
all.
too lemony.
Okay.
That's what I tried not.
So
to.
that's why I'm going with. It's very subjective.
Also, for me, I never have eaten both desserts all the way. Both desserts, first time, maybe in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go the more lemony one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
And it's not. And Fred.
Yeah, it's not no
And
good.
sometimes I'm lying to Zach. Sometimes I'm lying to Zach.
Yeah.
Yours was really, really good.
No, it's good. Always.
And it
Fred's
was just
consistent.
like I was in the mood for something a little more lemony.
Yeah,
But yours
it
was
happens. It
But yours
happens.
was really
No. Listen,
like
I'm not
that's
hurt.
why I had to get both because it was like, oh, this one's good. Oh, this one's good.
All
And
I know is I'm gonna take me another piece with me at home. It'll be for my snack tomorrow.
But this is legitimately the hardest bake-off we've had.
Yeah, so
Caroline.
it's 2-1. Caroline.
Fred, this is like the
tiger.
first time I've seen you go down with honor, and I just love that for you.
Carolina hit us. Put the
Caroline came in here with, no, I can see them two talking yesterday. We're going to take him down no matter what he brings.
She's got the shovel with the.
Yeah, she's been throwing dirt
Are you-
since she got in
I
here.
think this is the best thing that I've tried of yours. I'm like not even
Oh.
kidding.
No.
I think this is the
The
best.
best thing she's
thing
tried
I've
of yours?
I thought the banana pudding was the best.
I didn't try that.
Oh,
It went
all right.
so fast.
You haven't tried it yet?
They
It's
ate
really
it.
good.
I almost feel like I should have took Fred's side just for the technicality part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we'll
it
have
was-
to have a rematch. It's so
No, that's-
close, right?
I like
Look.
the lemony, like
right.
genuinely. I did like Anna's better, and there
I
wasn't.
think
it was just lemon.
too.
Which one did you like
Anna
better?
surprised me because I didn't.
Did you
I
like
didn't-
Anna's though?
It was okay.
No, come on, Fred, be honest now. Be honest.
No, I give her props
Because sometimes like with Selby, it's a very clear.
No, I'm gonna give Anna her props. It's a good cake.
So it's yours. So
Yeah, it was a good cake. So,
And so
I'm
just
not gonna hate.
for those at home, this is the most gracious we've seen Fred
Yeah.
because I think he understands that this is good cake. But Fred's cake was also very good. I wish you could taste them
Yeah,
both.
you gotta taste
No,
both.
It just is
We're-
personal preference.
both.
Fred
phenomenal
had that.
cakes.
Fred had that. I just ate my mom Thanksgiving, and that pound cake was sitting there, and it was fire. You got that pound cake.
Yeah, it's
slash-
good.
That's why I
It
say,
tastes
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it
know
was
what I mean.
good.
It's on point.
It's something very like comforting about it.
Anna surprised the crap out of me. I ain't.
All
gonna
right, so
Yeah, I didn't know they were doing it like that in Colorado.
she surprised the crap out of me.
hey, so is this Anna? Anna lemon cake wins.
We'll get Anna the first one.
Wow.
Ask me out.
And it's close. It's close. But so we'll have to do this again. Anna, you want to do it again?
Yes, challenge accepted.
All right. And Fred, how about
Ooh,
Fred
you
gets to
gonna
pick
have
this
bring
one?
Your pinky
Yeah,
toe.
I get to pick the cake next time.
Okay.
Oh no!
I got you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Finish.
thank you so much for joining. Congratulations, Anna, and please make sure you like and subscribe wherever you
really
get your
am.
podcasts, and make sure you check out our Command Center special if you want more training camp options, and vote.